I'd like to give you a little presentation about mistakes I made in pistol shooting and what I learned. To give you a little background, I've been shooting action pistol matches since I was 26. I'm 46 now, so that's about 20 years of shooting matches. I've probably fired pretty close to 120,000 rounds in practice and in matches. I shoot primarily Glocks in 40 Smith & Wesson and 9mm cartridges. I shoot action pistol matches, and action pistol matches have self-defense routes. You typically will draw from a holster. You'll shoot at some roughly humanoid targets that can be set up in a variety of different ways. You run around obstacles, things like that. You might get in or get out of a car. Speed and accuracy are very important. Why did I do this? Well, first of all, it's super fun. Pistol competitions, they're like skiing or some other super fun activity. So a lot of recreational value there. Second is self-defense training. If you're going to own a firearm for self-defense, it's nice if you can be proficient with it, if you can be very good at operating it. Another reason is competition. I like to compete. This is one way to kind of get that out of my system. And the last reason is for camaraderie and friendship. So camaraderie and friendship is probably the biggest reason, and I've made tons of super good friends over the years and had a great time. So although I've made some mistakes, which I'll get into now, I don't think any of these mistakes are like fatal mistakes. But anytime you play a sport or a competition, the results are ranked, and it's always more fun to be at the top of the list rather than the middle or the bottom of the results page. So here's some mistakes that I've made, things I could have done better. The first is probably learning what a good trigger pull feels like. I probably learned what a good trigger press felt like 10 years into the game. It should have been like 5 or 10 months into the game. So that's kind of a critical aha moment that all good shooters have, and the sooner you can have that, the sooner your skills will kind of take off. Another one is not getting enough shooting and competition-focused training. So I've taken a good handful of self-defense focused training courses, but not really any shooting skill or competition-oriented training. Along the same vein is not reading enough or watching enough videos. I'm fairly cheap, and so sometimes I don't buy the books and the instructional DVDs from people, but a true student would go out of his way to purchase these things and learn from the champions and glean what you can. Another item is not using or not keeping track of time during drills. So I shoot a lot of drills when I practice, but I'm not very often am I keeping time and recording my time on a particular drill. Say the drill is to draw and fire 2 shots at a target, reload and fire 2 more shots at a target. Well, a high-level shooter can do that in, let's say it's 2.5 seconds. Well, I might do that same drill, but I won't really keep track of the time and note my progress. Am I getting slower at this? Am I getting better at this? Am I getting faster, but my hits are getting worse? I should have been more focused on tracking my performance during drills. Another item is not shooting USPSA enough. So there's kind of 2 major action pistol sports. There's IDPA on this hand, and there's USPSA on this hand. And I've shot a lot of IDPA. It tends to have a little smaller, a little lower talent pool. It's a little bit more of an entry sport. And I've risen to the top of near the top of this sport, and I'm shooting more USPSA lately, but I should have done more early on. The talent pool is bigger and there's better shooters in general in USPSA, and so spending more time with them would have brought my skills up faster. Dry fire. So dry fire is when you practice gun handling skills at home with an unloaded gun. And I do this somewhat, but it gets kind of boring But the real champions tend to do a lot of dry fire, and I should have enough discipline to do more practice and training like that on my own. It doesn't cost anything. You're not shooting up any ammunition. You don't have to travel anywhere if the weather's bad. So more dry fire would have definitely helped me. The next item on my list is equipment chasing, and this is a bit of a backwards description here. Equipment chasing is when people are continually buying new equipment or buying a new gizmo or searching for the perfect set of the perfect trigger parts or something like that. And I haven't been guilty of that side of equipment chasing where I'm trying to let the equipment solve my shooting skill problems. If anything, I've been a little bit too far on the other side where I've kind of stuck with the same equipment for a long time and not really maybe taken advantage of some of the upgrades that are available and maybe switch to a higher performance platform. Maybe it's time to actually buy the unicorn. Another item that came to mind is not posting enough videos online for criticism and for critique. So sometimes people will post videos of themselves of a shooting performance online and they'll say, hey, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And you get all manner of responses because the online world can be pretty harsh and there's no filter. So you can get a lot of nasty critiques or nasty comments. But you can also get some really good critiques and some really good feedback. Hey, did you think about trying this? Or why didn't you do this? Oh, I guess I never thought about that. So I should post more videos of myself shooting online and get more feedback from shooters and trainers. Similar to that is not asking for criticism very often immediately after shooting a stage. So what I should do is, as soon as I shoot a stage, I should come back and ask some of the higher end shooters that are on the squad that just saw me shoot, hey, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Mostly, what did I do wrong? To help me learn, help me grow faster. And also in the same vein, here's another item that's something I've kind of done wrong, mistakes I've made, was having a bit of an ego. Because I can shoot fairly well, sometimes I'm somewhat uninterested in criticism and feedback. But that ends up being kind of a self-limiting problem. If you have an attitude that you don't want feedback, you won't get feedback, and then you won't be able to improve. So toning the ego down and being more receptive to feedback would definitely help. The other thing, well, the last thing that I came up with on my list is not training enough with shooters better than me. So everyone I've trained with has been at a lower skill level. And that's okay, that's great, because you have someone there to help you get out and train and practice. But if you can find that person that's better than you to practice with, then all the more valuable your training is going to be. You're going to pick up skills and ideas and techniques from that person. So this has been a handful of things I've done, quote unquote, wrong during my pistol shooting career. And none of these, like I said before, none of these are fatal mistakes. But correcting these mistakes or avoiding them would have improved my skill level earlier and would have helped me become a better shooter earlier or even a better shooter now. Thank you.